Fucking the UVTV motherfucker. I'm gonna kick spiritual ass and dudes for my people. Oh God. Neon Nigga Featherman, yeah, and today I'm gonna be talking about simplifying the use of magic and manifestation and how it's used in everyday life. Because just in general, from us being in the flesh, you know what I'm saying? From us being in the fallen realm or the physical realm or the material world, just in general, or the fantasy realm, the twilight realm, the accumulation of darkness, aka the accumulation of light realm and stuff like that. So because we like to descend things and it make it harder to look at things beyond just the fleshly fluid that we in right now and stuff like that, right? So because we like on earth, right, and we like to ground things and we like to make things solidify and we like to look at things based upon the physical reality of things and stuff like that, right? The minute we start talking about things beyond just us, even though we see it every day, just based upon like the atmosphere or people outside your mind being sentient and stuff like that, trees, plants, animals, a whole bunch of different entities and deities out here and stuff like that, right? But just in general, right? From them being a multitude of different things outside of us that go beyond just our perception of how we look at things and stuff like that, right? We all cultivate this as a mass of all our subjective point of views to make the objective point of view just in general and stuff like that. Not no thing to where some floating thing in the sky that's objective and then we have to be in God's judgment and we have to go based upon that objective when we make the objective from the accumulation of all of us teamwork make the dream work coming together to make with the perception, the atmosphere, the direction we want to go in and stuff like that. Even though we have people in control like the government, anything pertaining to the government, it's just someone who likes to have a governing mentality and stuff like that. So people who like to rule over others and stuff like that, based upon that mentality, and I'm not putting it in a bias of it being good or bad or positive or negative in things of that nature based upon a morality sense. It's just someone in that mentality, in that mind state of, oh, they like to rule over others. Oh, they like to control their circumstances and they like to govern. They like to rule over other motherfuckers and stuff like that based upon people being in these different state of beings and how they construct the things based upon the material world and stuff like that, right? They want things to go in their favor based upon it doesn't matter the governmental system you want to compare it to. Consumerism, communism, capitalism, and stuff like that, right? It all adds to some type of order or system they trying to build based upon what they done materialize in the flesh based upon nepotisms and people cultures and stuff like that. Really, that's a whole different video, but like, yeah. So just in general, right, of how they want things to be seen is gonna make people have a certain reception based upon the perception they put out here to make us soak into and receive of how we look at magic or rituals or enchantments and stuff like that, right? And charms and divination and stuff like that to make it seem like some spooky shit, unless it has some religious backing behind it or it has some type of, you know what I'm saying, like magic trick, top hat, you know what I'm saying, magic wand type of quality behind it and stuff like that. Even though it's not, you know what I'm saying? Like shit, like man, the same way how they gentrify shit in Atlanta and stuff like that. That shit just be like gentrified. It's done on purpose to program motherfuckers to put them in a certain illusion of what that is. But that's them putting chaos magic and putting y'all in a program. That's them utilizing magic on y'all. I'm gonna get into that though. You know what I'm saying? Like just in general. So in a sense, magic is, oh, you're putting someone in an illusion or a fantasy or a program to make them think a certain way based upon the enchantments or the charms or the ritual and spell that they're doing onto you, that they're hexing on you or casting onto you to make you look at reality a certain way based upon their witchcraft, their bitchcraft. Oh, them trying to craft reality in a certain way to make you internalize what you're looking at based upon the external realm and stuff like that, based upon different representations and look at that as like Lionsgate, Warner Bros, Walt Disney, and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Commercials, TV programs, and stuff like that. Social media. You know what I'm saying? Like to try to the AI shit they doing right now. You know what I'm saying? Like artificial intelligence, synthetic intelligence. Oh, we're gonna give you intelligence of what we're trying to artificially generate, but it's never gonna be based upon what the people is doing naturally and organically because we're more sentient. We're gonna use some type of technology or some robot to control how we're gonna go, how we want to go about it, because we're trying to move along when it comes to evolution by having some type of technology where we can sit there and watch everybody on ring cameras and all that type of shit, and we can have movies like weapons. You know what I'm saying? Like they think in the mind of like, oh, let's create some type of technology or some tool, some external tool from the from the flesh and stuff like that. So we can control shit, and that's evolution. When it's taken away from the internal energies, y'all get too lost into the external. I'm not trying to say there's something wrong with them trying to make something to make things easier, but from y'all focusing on things outside of y'all never try to figure out y'all own imagination. Y'all never try to figure out y'all own individuality. Y'all never try to figure out y'all own genuine natural natures and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Your own charisma, your own character and stuff like that. Because you always want to appease to something outside of you based upon external validation. So you're going to use some type of technology so you can go with the consciousness wave of what you feel like you should be doing based upon the trends and the programs they put out here based upon what the government is doing and stuff like that. But you know what I'm saying? That's here or there. So I'm gonna just put this mad simple, right? Magic is the use of rituals, spells, or charms believed to control natural or supernatural forces to influence events. It refers to both supernatural arts such as sorcery and witchcraft and the performance of illusions. It also describes enchanting or extraordinary quality. Now, based upon magic, right? To make it mad simple, magic is just you utilizing your imagination and making your imagination look like a reality. Make it grounded. Make it look like it's something that's real in the physical reality and stuff like that. So you're utilizing illusions because, like I said, we in the flesh, we in the physical realm, we in the material world, we in the twilight zone and stuff like that, right? We're in the accumulation of daylight. We're in the nightshade and stuff like that, right? So we're in a shape and form. The lighter shape and form, our first body is our mind, thoughts, ideas, feelings, and emotions. Our second body is the flesh, the organ. Us being on earth right now, so it's being more compressed or it's being more condensed to put us in a container so we can live in the flesh, live in the world and stuff like that, and act out these things physically based upon the conscious realm. But it comes from the subconscious realm, and the subconscious realm comes from the unconscious world, and that's just the spiritual world. So it's just the essence or the substance or the spirit or the space that you in, the world that you in, the creator space, the observer space. To make it mad simple, the culture, what you're trying to produce for yourself, and you not being stuck into one pocket of time, and you trying to expand the world that you in, the space that you in, your spirit, just in general, right? And the only way you can do that is based upon taking things that are from the unseen realm that we're uncertain about, aka it's in the dark that we don't know about, and is you brightening and lightening it up and having some enlightenment about it, some know-how, knowledge, or wisdom, and you make it be seen. You know what I'm saying? So it's you emitting your light, your spark. So it's like when they be talking about, oh, Jesus Christ is the light of the world and stuff like that. It's talking about internal natures of us having our own solar plexus, us having our own expression, us having our own light and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Us being the walking star and all that type of shit. It's when y'all get lost into the light. So the same way how you look at the fucking sun, and then when you look at the sun, it be bright as fuck, it be shining, it be illuminated. You know what I'm saying? But when you stare at it too long, it start to hurt your eyes and stuff like that. And then you start going blind and all that type of shit. So that lets you know, just in general, that's that actual thing based upon how they be talking about it in the Bible and stuff like that, based upon allegories and stuff like that. Y'all be getting lost into the Lucifer, into the light, into the information, into the language, into the linguistics, into the logic. You know what I'm saying? So from y'all getting lost in the light, it can make y'all blind, and then the blind lead the blind and stuff like that. Sheep leading the sheep, and then the sheep need the shepherd, and the motherfucker who's the shepherd is the motherfucker who ain't as blind and putting all y'all in a program and illusion and shit like that. That's why they leading y'all, because y'all being sheep, y'all blinded. You know what I'm saying? And then that's it. That's it. You know what I'm saying? That's all that shit is. So for the most part, based upon y'all being lost into the light, aka what's being seen or represented, and because you ain't seen it in the flesh, you thinking, oh, this not no thing that's in existence. Oh, I'm not gonna believe in that, or I'm not gonna have trust in that, or I'm not gonna have faith in that because it's not serving based upon what's going on externally, because we're on earth right now. So the same way how y'all be looking at an earth sign, and it's a feminine sign, but it's a feminine sign for things of the external world, just in general. So the physical, the flesh, and stuff like that. And from it being feminine, that's internalizing, that's receiving. So they like to receive things based upon the external world. So y'all get lost into the flesh and stuff like that. That's why when you get around someone who's more lighter, like even an air sign and stuff like that, okay, they're air sign, a masculine sign, they like to externalize, but they like to externalize things that are already in the external world. You know what I'm saying? They already like to express. So they already did things from the inside out. earth-like people, right? Like earthly-like beings or people in a earth-like state of being and stuff like that. They like to take things from the external so they can internalize it. They can receive something. So that could be a possession. That could be money. That could be you know what I'm saying? Like material things and stuff like that, right? So they can get lost into the validation of what they're receiving, but they're not trying to perceive or express their own way of how to see something. So they're not doing things from the inside out. They're trying to they're trying to utilize things that's outside of them and trying to take it inside, but that's never gonna fulfill that void because your spirit is your space. It's no shape and form. You know what I'm saying? So from it not being no shape and form, and that's your natural substance and essence and stuff like that, right? You're never gonna get fulfilled by that physical thing. So it's the same way how you could die right now and you can take that $1 million with you if you made $1 million, or you can't replace that with physical pleasure or physical money or your physical lifestyle and all that type shit. You know what I'm saying? Or that physical monetary gain or that physical success. It's not gonna fulfill that. That's why when people learn that do experience, like, damn, like I got all this money, I did this, I did that, but I still don't feel happy inside. I still don't feel fulfilled and stuff like that. That's why, because you're not trying to understand your mentality behind why you thought like that in the first place and the intentions, and you're not trying to understand your character, your natural natures. You're not trying to understand your spirit. You're not trying to make that big. You're trying to make things that are of the conscious realm that are seen, and you're trying to make those things unseen. You're trying to throw shade on it. You're trying to make it darker. You're trying to make it, you know what I'm saying? Because anything dealing with darkness is just the accumulation of light. You got blinded by the light, and now you blinded. Now you can't see. So anything you consciously aware of and stuff like that, and you see from the external world, from you getting lost into the light, you got lost into that way of looking at it, that perception, and you didn't try to change it into no other way and stuff like that, right? You basically got put into the Twilight Zone. You got put into a fantasy. You got put into an illusion, aka a false reality. You're not seeing the full scope because you got the rose-colored glasses on and shit like that. The same way how I got the shades on right now, like that ass. So you can't see it clearly because you're gonna have that clouded, gloomy judgment and stuff like that based upon, like, you know what I'm saying? Based upon you being lost into the light, you being blinded, you being in mental slavery in a sense. You know what I'm saying? You being in bondage. So you have to take things from the unseen realm and you have to make those things seen, and then that's how you make your spirit bigger. And it's based upon expansion and contraction. So expanding out of a mind and then contracting into a new one. Contracting just means condensing, putting it in a container. So you went through something, you're in something, you're a part of something, and you have to figure out how to expand it, how to get out of the circumstance so you don't stay stuck and stagnant on that one thing. So that's like you being an artist or some shit like that. And then one year you had 10,000 followers and stuff like that, and one of your songs blew up. And then next year you all like, oh, okay, I'm trying to go on a feature run. So I'm trying to have multiple songs go up, and I'm trying to have more than 10,000 followers. I'm trying to have 50,000 followers next year and all that type shit. So you have to go through that same process of you going through that progressions and experiences and those ups and downs and stuff like that. So when you try to skip the mechanism, when you try to skip the process of you're trying to stay on that high, you're trying to stay on that up, you're trying to stay on that optimism or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? That's how you fall off quicker because you're refusing to go through the compression stage, the depression stage, the descending stage. Oh, when that high get taken away, and then now you got to go back to working in the studio again, trying to make a new record. You're trying to live up off that high, and then you don't even know how to get back to that creative space of making that type of song or making some good ass music or trying to gain some more experiences or another way to showcase your talent and creative attributes. You're trying to ride that high of you having that one hit, but you don't even know how to make another one in another bag in another way because you're not gonna, you know what I'm saying? Like it's like you're trying to relive a moment. Like you already done lived out that moment, that experience. You already done did that. Now you have to do it in a different way to make it so you can get another high. And it's going through the ups and downs and stuff like that, and the frequency, vibration, and the energy, and the matter and stuff like that. So you have to find another bag. You have to find another pocket, but it still resonates with your overall creativity or style or what you already like to do. I'm just using the musician, the creativity thing as like an example and stuff like that. Like y'all get what I'm trying to say. That's how motherfuckers end up falling off because they're trying to ride that high, but then they end up forgetting how they even get into that creative space in the first place because they're getting lost into the validation. They're getting lost into the monetary gain. They're getting lost into the illusion. They're getting lost into the fantasy. They're getting lost into what they already done accumulated, but they don't know how to accumulate it naturally like that again. So you're getting lost into the synthetic world and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? You get into after effects. But can you make another cause though? Can you cause another moment? Can you cause another thing? You're getting lost into the after effects. The effects of the results of what you just did, but can you make more results? Can you do that again? You know what I'm saying? Can you get back into that space, or you gonna get lost into what that space you did previously and what you already done created, and you get lost into your creations not being a creator, not you being an observer, not you being the strong spirit, not you being in the strong mentality and all that type shit. That's all that means when you be in a strong space, or you be in a strong spirit, or you having a strong mentality and all that shit. So this in general, all this goes together. All this goes together. So magic just in general just means you're naturally utilizing your imagination, and your imagination is just a mental image. You're turning your imagination based upon things of the internal realm, and you're trying to make it a part of reality. You know what I'm saying? So it's like manifesting and materializing, literally. That's all magic is. You being able to utilize your imagination and making it relatable and condensed in the best way you can to this realm of reality. You know what I'm saying? You can materialize it to make it look real here. So it's the epitome of, oh, I made my visions, or I made my dream come true. And no one else can see that dream, and no one else can see that vision the way I be seeing it. No one else can have that same perception, but they can receive what I'm doing. And I can just find folks who can assist me to make that dream come true, who can make that vision come true, who can help assist what I'm trying to cultivate and create for myself and produce when it comes to my creativity and all that type shit, my talents, my abilities, all that type shit. Now, like I was saying, magic is the use of ritual spells and charms and stuff like that, right? Rituals are just like customs or like traditions, so something that got passed on, or a routine and pattern. So the same way how you have a certain routine and pattern of how you like to discipline yourself, or like, you know what I'm saying, like six house type of energy and stuff like that, right? When you go through a ritual and routine and pattern in a schedule, you know what I'm saying? So the same way how you go to your 9 to 5 and then you have a schedule, that's all a ritual is. It's just a custom. It's just a routine that you're doing in moderation. You're a practitioner of that practice. So the same way how you go to a 9 to 5 and you have to be a practitioner of the practice of what it requires when it comes to that job and occupation. So you need to have a certain skill set and be in a certain routine or business model so it can have the right results when it comes to accumulating abundance for that job so you can get paid. And then that's it. So rituals is no spooky. I'm trying to take all the spookyism out that shit because I'm trying to show you how it's used in everyday life. So you're utilizing your imagination and you're just making a routine to show people your thoughts, ideas, feelings, and emotions, and you're making it sentient. You're giving life to it so it can become real based upon manifestation and materializing. Manifestation just means festering men. Men referring to men and women. Adams and Eves. Masculine and feminine. Externalizing, internalizing. Positive, negative. Men being positive, women being negative. And don't take that as like a thing like, oh, that means good and bad. It means like certainty and uncertainty. You know what I'm saying? Direction or redirection. You know what I'm saying? So from you taking your Adams and Eves, your thoughts and ideas, which is men, your feelings and emotions, which is woman, you're combining it together based upon what your mind is doing, and then you're trying to build that adrenaline and blood flow and you know what I'm saying? You're trying to make a new body, a new organ to make it so, oh, I can make a container to where this could play out as an event, as a product of whatever my imagination is, because I felt real inspired to do that thing. So I'm trying to make that thing real, and I actually want to experience that in the flesh. And then that's it, based upon what that ritual is. A spell is just you conveying or expressing something. That's it. So anything when it comes to spelling something out, right? Because letters carry energy and stuff like that, right? Spelling something out, someone casting a spell and stuff like that. You're just conveying and expressing something. That's it. And based upon the intentions of how that person was spelling something out or conveying it or expressing it is how you're gonna feel based upon the intention behind it. So look at that as, oh, a motherfucker is casting a spell. So if they're casting a spell, they're conveying or expressing something. So it's how they're conveying or expressing something. They can express themselves in an angry type way. They can express themselves in a low vibrational type way, a depressing type way. They could express themselves in a joyful type way. They could express themselves in an optimistic type way. They could express themselves in a very comedic, sarcastic type way. So they're casting a spell on you. From them casting a spell, you start to feel their feelings and emotions, and it moves you in a certain way to where you pick up their body language and how they're saying it. So that's them casting a spell on you. Oh, you're in their imagination, you're their illusion, and they utilize a language to put you in that program, in that illusion, in that emotion, in that way of feeling based upon how they're saying it and the intentions behind it. And then that's it. So that leads into what charms are. Charms are just like, you know what I'm saying? Like, because I know it get distributed into divination, but y'all be getting lost into divination. Divination, it just means a divine nature. A divine nature just means a heavenly nature and stuff like that, right? And it's a divine nature. I mean, divination is just a divine nature. So it's based upon a divine nation. A nation contains like a country, and a country makes different states and stuff like that. Look at that as different states of being. So different states contain different counties and towns and cities and different men and women. Men and women would be Adams and Eves, masculine and feminine. Men and women, male, female, all that type of shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's different states of beings, just in general, that are just being played out. And that's really it for real. So once you get back into people using charms and stuff like that, right? Look at that as like when they start talking about incantations or rites and stuff like that. They're just utilizing that as a physical tool to speak things into existence and stuff like that. But the charm, right, that like that necklace or that incantation or that rite, like that tool they be utilizing, right? It's the same way when you meet a charming person. So they're utilizing their magic, their imagination. So they're acting real charming. What is being charming mean? Irresistible attraction. They're using their charisma. They're using their temptation or trying to tempt you based upon their state of being or whatever character they're trying to display, right? So if they act really charming, they're just using their charisma, aka they're trying to tempt you using their character. And then based upon them using that charm, and you could look at the charm like a necklace or some type of like some vase or some shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like them utilizing that divination, aka they added a lot of divine energy behind it. Look at divination as a divine nature, aka they added a lot of their magic, they added a lot of their imagination, they added a lot of their willpower, they put a lot of their energy into that charm based upon the intentions of what they're using the magic or the divination tool for, and they turned it into a charm. So I'm gonna utilize this thing to attract a certain energy so I can utilize it as a way of manifesting a certain program or reality that I want to play out in the flesh. I'm just utilizing this as a tool to take me back to the source. And that's going to lead to sorcery. Sorcery is just you being a source or a representation. So the minute they start talking about, So the minute they start talking about sorcery, they're just talking about you being the source or representation. So you're using that divination or that charm to attract certain energies, to be around certain entities and deities and stuff like that, so it can put you in a certain space so you can get back to that source of whatever your imagination you're trying to emit. So that starts to turn into witchcraft. Witchcraft is just crafting reality through witch methods. What is a witch? A witch is a female sorceress. So if you're using female sorceress methods and stuff like that, right? If it's female, that's like an emotion or a feeling, or that's like internalizing, like I was saying before, right? So if you're using a female sorceress method, you're using something to make a person feel a certain way or put them in a certain emotion or to make them go into the internal realm. You know what I'm saying? You're not going based upon what they see outside themselves. So like, you know what I'm saying, externalizing something, it makes them internalize something. So you can feel whatever energy you trying to throw on them and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So if a motherfucker get mad at you and stuff like that, you gonna feel that shit inside like, oh damn, this motherfucker mad as hell. And you gonna react and respond based upon what emotion and feeling they just put on you and stuff like that. So if a motherfucker put in witchcraft on you, they're trying to make you receive something. They're trying to make you react. They're trying to make you be in an emotion and feeling. And then that's it. They're just trying to craft a reality using their sorcery to make it so, oh, I'm a source. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a source, so I can throw an emotion and feeling on you. You know what I'm saying? I know how to utilize my power to make you get enticed by this certain emotion and feeling that I want you to receive. I'm trying to make you feel whatever the fuck I'm trying to say. I'm trying to utilize my imagination, my thoughts, ideas, feelings, and emotions to make you feel this way. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's going to help me craft the reality or the illusion or the fantasy I'm trying to put you in based upon my enchantment. Enchantments are just you trying to captivate, or you're trying to entertain, or you're trying to attract certain energies. And then that's it. That's it. So the minute they start talking about involving hidden or occult forces to achieve certain goals and stuff like that based upon their intentions and stuff like that, right? If it's hidden, it's just unseen, or it's uncertain, or it's in the dark, or there's some mystery behind it. If mystery just means my story, so it's going to have mystique behind it. So you're just learning the mystery behind the history. So you're just learning what's in the dark, what's something that's unseen, that's you're uncertain about, that's in the dark that you can't see. And the more you try to figure out what's going on behind closed doors that you can't see based upon what you're receiving, and you start to lighten it up, you start to brighten that up, now you can see what they're actually doing. And then that's basically what I'm explaining. Oh, I'm just explaining, oh, all these different things are things of the internal realm, and it look like it's spooky and it's unseen and it's hidden, but that's really what they doing in reality once you actually start to brighten it up and stop getting lost into the program and what they're trying to make you receive when it comes to emotions and feelings and all that type shit, and exaggerating what it actually is for the most part. So the minute they start talking about hidden or occult forces, occultism just means a type of cult. You know what I'm saying? So it's just a group of niggas who do things in unseen ways that are hidden behind closed doors based upon rituals, spells, charms, enchantments, witchcraft, and all that type shit. But they're all in a group behind closed doors, and we don't know what the fuck they doing exactly, but that's the practice they're doing. Occultism. It's a type of cult doing things behind closed doors to achieve their goals that we can't see. We're not consciously aware of everything they're doing, but we know they're doing something. You know what I'm saying? Like, so they're gonna do it in dark ways. Dark, not dark as in negative or like bad. They're just doing it in the dark. They're doing it in an unseen way. They're doing it in a underhanded way. They're doing it in a way where they're not gonna show their hand. You know what I'm saying? They're not gonna make it obvious. They're trying to do it in a redirecting way. They're trying to, like it just going back into the internal energies and the feminine energies and all that type shit. So it's just the art of producing a desired effect that results naturally. So it's just producing imagery from the imagination, aka motion pictures, which is just emotions in general. And emotions are just specific feelings. So you're trying to make a motion picture based upon your imagination, and you're utilizing magic as imagery to make it be seen a certain way. So the minute they start talking about a supernatural power, right, they're just talking about something based upon their imagination. That's the most naturalist essence you can do, utilizing your imagination. And the more you have more power over your imagination, you have more power over your internal realm, or the yin realm, or the imagination realm. I'm missing one. But y'all get what I'm saying? So it's like your spirit, it's your essence, it's just the world that you in. So the more you try to broaden up your spirit and make that bigger, and you try to make things that are unseen, and you're able to create and observe and do something yourself, and you don't get stuck in a pocket of how it's supposed to be seen, and it being put into a certain pocket or a certain container, and you always able to be movable, adaptable, and changeable. You know what I'm saying? Like you always able to create another way of how to see something. You always able to look at it from a higher angle instead of looking at it in like a low hanging fruit type way and stuff like that, right? That's some extraordinary supernatural shit. You know what I'm saying? You end up discovering certain things about yourself you didn't even know. So if you have a supernatural power, right, you are learning more abilities about yourself that is beyond your understanding. So it's like a thing of, oh, I didn't even know I had that ability. I didn't even know I had that talent. Oh, I didn't even know I had this type of comprehension. I didn't even know I had this awareness. I didn't even know I had this type of intelligence when it comes to this thing, type shit. You know what I'm saying? That's like the epitome of like you going to a party and shit, and then like you hanging with all your friends and stuff like that, and let's say like all your friends having fun and stuff like that, and you a little tipsy, but you ain't drunk like that, and then you end up going to the basement, and it's like some niggas in the basement making some music and all that type shit while the party is going on upstairs, and then you just watching everyone like go inside the booth like making music and all that type shit, and then you all like, man, I'm in a fun mood, you know what I'm saying? Hey, I'm gonna write something down. Hey, let me get in the booth. Let me rap. Let me try something. You know what I'm saying? And then you end up freestyling some whole shit in like 2-3 minutes. And you end up spazzing. You end up going crazy. And then motherfuckers like, damn, motherfucker, you rap or some shit. And then like you start looking at them and you just like, nah, like that's my first time freestyling for real. That's my first time pen to pad. That's my first time laying a track down for real. And stuff like that. And then motherfuckers like, you got a talent at this. And then you like, oh, for real? Type shit. You like, for real? I never tried doing that shit for real. Type shit. And then you end up taking that shit serious and you end up discovering, oh, I'm actually really good at making music. Oh, I'm really good at rapping. Oh, I'm really good at making my imagination be seen from pen to pad in a certain way, and it's articulated in a certain way to where motherfuckers relate to it. Motherfuckers find that charming. Motherfuckers find that entertaining. Motherfuckers find that like, oh, magnetic. Oh, motherfuckers find that like a strength or like a power and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like motherfuckers look at me like, oh, this nigga has a talent, a natural ability at something that he understand or has a know-how better compared to how we doing and stuff like that. All these other motherfuckers, yeah, they cool, but this nigga is like naturally good at this. Like, yeah. So just in general, right? The more you're able to create some type of fascination or strong interest, aka you're able to make people attract to you based upon what you're paying attention to and concentrating on, which is based upon your awareness. And your awareness is based upon the attention span. So the attention span is just the intentions and the means to an end of how much something means and matters to you. And once you actually start producing and creating and developing it, right, the more you're able to make your supernatural power or your imagination and you're able to turn it into a reality, aka, you know what I'm saying, you can make it appear in a certain way through an illusion or making a realm of reality or some type of fantasy or some type of creative attributes and stuff like that. That's you utilizing your power. That's you utilizing your magic. And then that's it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's no spooky shit. Like, dead ass, it's no spooky shit. That's like me explaining it in a most simplified way to where you can see that in everyday life. Like, dead ass. So, that's your supernatural power. So, the more you try to think beyond just yourself and what you're capable of, and you try to brighten up the shadow areas and the shadow realm and the areas where, I could never see me doing that. You know what I'm saying? Like the more you try to like brighten that up and you try to clear the atmosphere, right? And you try to not think as clouded and you know what I'm saying? Not think as pessimistic, not think as gloomy. And you just like, man, let me just try this shit. Let me just do this. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't never tried this before. Like, I never tried to experience this before. Like, I never tried to see it in this way. Let me find another way of like seeing it or perceiving it and stuff like that. And the more you're able to take things that you're receiving and you're able to perceive it in your own way, aka taking your internal natures and then making it relatable to the external world and stuff like that, that's it. Like, that's you using your supernatural powers and natural abilities and you utilizing your imagination and then making it, you're able to create a reality, a realm of reality. You was able to create an atmosphere. You was able to create a world out of it. And that's all you doing when it comes to divination, when it comes to magic, when it comes to rituals and all that type shit. You're utilizing your imagination and then you're able to create an atmosphere, a world. You're able to create a realm of reality. that's already a part of the external world, the external physical reality, and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So you was able to take something that's beyond just yourself, and you're able to be a source of that, and then you can be the walking representation of that being seen in reality, and then that's it on all levels. So it's the epitome of the spirit, mind, body. You was able to utilize your essence, your spirit, your individuality, your authenticity of what you're trying to create for yourself, and you what you're observing, and you was able to turn it into a vision, a dream, a thought, a feeling, emotion, and you actually made it reality based upon manifesting and materializing. You materialized it. You made it actually matter, and you made it a thing that was relatable to the reality that we in, that makes sense or that's logical and practical, but it was based upon the insight, the intuition, the emotional intelligence, the creativity behind it. You know what I'm saying? And then that's it. So let me sit here and just reiterate. So anytime you can utilize your divine natures and turn it into divination, anything dealing with the divine just deals with anything dealing with the divines, it just means something heavenly. Heaven, anything heavenly deals with heaven, right? So it deals with the home of God. So when y'all look at God as all possibilities, you was able to turn all possibilities and make it work in your favor. And that's when you start working with God. When you learn how to work with all possibilities. So you always try to make it possible to where wherever essence or substance that make you feel heavenly or put you in that heavenly space, just in general, is based upon your atmosphere, the world at most, the world that you're in. You're trying to create a realm of reality. So the more you're able to turn your realm of reality from your subjective point of view, and you know how to make it from the, you know what I'm saying? Like you know how to make it from the natural essence, and you know how to relate that to the objective point of view, the external world, and make it relatable and make it a part of something everybody can see, right? You was able to create a way to where you can show your authenticity and your individuality, your character, your imagination, and make it part of reality. And then that's your supernatural power. And that's your magic. And then that's it. Like, yeah.